You know, I just came back from watching the press conference, and yeah, I'm gonna just say this, man. I feel bad for Shakur Stevenson because he's going to lose badly to Teofimo Lopez. I feel Teofimo Lopez is gonna use this fight as a statement. This will be a statement fight for Teofimo. He's going to embarrass Shakur Stevenson. Like, it will not be a close fight. When I say embarrass, I see that Teofimo Lopez will use this fight to show that other promoters and other establishments can use this fight as an example to pay Teofimo Lopez his fair share. I just don't see how Shakur Stevenson...
You know, I think Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter. I mean, hands down, I have a lot of respect for him. I think that Shakur is by far one of the, greatest.
When Oscar de la Hoya sits in front of a microphone, there is usually a motive behind every word. He is a promoter, a businessman, and one of the sharpest minds boxing has ever seen when it comes to controlling narratives. But on a recent episode of Club Shay Shay, the Golden Boy dropped the promoter persona completely and spoke from the perspective of a pure fighter. And what he said sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Oscar didn't just praise a young champion, he committed what many would call boxing blasphemy. Looking Shannon Sharpe straight in the eye, De La Hoya declared that Shakur Stevenson is the greatest fighter he has ever seen. Not Floyd Mayweather. Not Manny Pacquiao. Not even himself. He crowned the 28-year-old from Newark as the best to ever lace up gloves. On the surface, the statement sounds outrageous. This is an era ruled by fighters like Alexander Usyk, a two-division undisputed champion who conquered giants, and pound-for-pound monsters dominating across divisions. Yet Oscar pushed them all aside for Shakur. Why? Especially when Stevenson is one of the most criticized, polarizing, and so-called boring champions in boxing today. The answer lies in something deeper, something most fans screaming for knockouts completely fail to see.
Boxing is like Shakur in this way. Boxing got very bad, but it's getting good. But people don't give boxing that much room anymore. Because if boxing sucks for a minute, they'll say that's why boxing's dying. Or if a fight doesn't happen, it's like that's why I don't watch boxing anymore. There's no tolerance now. Shakur's performance in this last fight was actually pretty good. It's just the tolerance for Shakur's style is not even, he couldn't afford that performance. But the performance was
To understand why De La Hoya's claim carries weight, you have to look past social media criticism and empty seats. Shakur Stevenson has been followed by a damaging narrative for years that he is a runner, a safety-first fighter who prioritizes winning rounds over entertaining crowds. It's a reputation that has hurt his popularity and his earning power. Fans have walked out of his fights. Commentators have openly questioned his aggression. Even Oscar admitted that Shakur has a serious flaw: he doesn't know how to sell himself. But there is a massive difference between being bad for the box office and being bad inside the ring. Oscar's argument is simple: while Shakur may struggle to excite casual fans, he is a nightmare for anyone trying to land a punch on him. That reality was brutally exposed in his recent dismantling of William Zepeda. Going into that fight, critics believed Zepeda was the answer: a relentless pressure fighter, a high-volume puncher, a man expected to drag Shakur into chaos and expose his lack of power, making a world-class contender look like he was punching underwater. That performance was the validation of everything De La Hoya is saying. It proved that Shakur's style isn't about fear. It's about a level of distance management that hasn't been seen since the prime of Pernell Whitaker.
So here's my expert opinion on Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, Saturday night, Ring Magazine event. It's going to be incredible, New York. All right, Shakur Stevenson, what type of fighter is he? Exactly like Floyd Mayweather, okay? He knows how to box, beautiful footwork, stands up straight, shoulder roll, all that good stuff, right? Has a beautiful jab, right? Pop shots you with the right hand. Well, guess what? Floyd Mayweather lost against Jose Luis Castillo, which reminds me of William Zepeda, okay? But throws more punches. So think about this. Floyd, I believe, had brittle hands. Shakur Stevenson has brittle hands. If William Zepeda keeps coming forward, throws punches, is very careful, side-to-side movements with his head, keeps throwing that jab because this shell here cannot block a jab to save your life. Throw to the body, throw to the chest, pin him in the corner, and just keep throwing punches and bunches. William Zepeda has probably the best output in boxing. So I got William Zepeda by decision or even a stoppage against Shakur Stevenson. And I love Shakur Stevenson. He's a great...
What happened instead looked unreal. Shakur didn't run. He didn't retreat endlessly. He stood right in the pocket, slipping punches by inches, making a world-class pressure fighter look like he was shadowboxing underwater. Zepeda couldn't find him. He couldn't time him. He couldn't touch him. It was the kind of performance that validates everything De La Hoya was talking about. Shakur's style isn't built on fear, it's built on mastery. His control of space and timing resembles something rarely seen since the prime of Pernell Whitaker. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't violent. It was surgical. We're watching Shakur and seeing a level of dominance that is statistically absurd. He has hardly lost a single round in his professional career. Think about that. In a sport defined by chaos, Shakur Stevenson has rendered variance obsolete.
But Shakur did his thing. I think the first half was Zepeda's, the second half was Shakur. You have to give it up to him. So
could you say probably this would be the fight of the year? I mean, it was a back and forth. We didn't expect that.
Yeah, it was good. It was back and forth. It was a great show. Yeah, it was a great. Out of here. We're out of here. Oh, you out of here?
It's the next one over here. All right, Oscar, what would be next for Zepeda after this, and obviously for Shakur?
Yeah, back to the drawing board, Come. But he's, one loss is nothing. One loss against a really good fighter like Shakur doesn't mean anything. You bounce back from it, and that's what boxing is. My friend. We're gonna see Zepeda. Yes, of course.
What stood out the most for you for Zepeda in this one? What stood out the most? I feel like he threw a little bit more power punches, more crisp. He looked a little bit more crisp.
He threw a lot more punches, but the one thing about Shakur is that the punches he lands are very effective. So those are, they're just great for the scoring, But I think overall it was a good fight. I think it was another great experience for Zepeda. You just grow and learn. That's it.
De La Hoya specifically praised Shakur's beautiful technique and overall balance, pointing out that he possesses boxing's holy trinity: power, durability, and vision. But what truly makes Stevenson special is his judgment of distance. It's almost mechanical. He knows exactly how far to lean back so a punch barely misses, allowing him to counter instantly. This creates a psychological trap for opponents. When you throw 10 punches and hit nothing but air, hesitation creeps in. And the moment you hesitate against Shakur Stevenson, the fight is already over. He breaks opponents down with a sharp, piston-like jab, calmly and efficiently, without wasting energy. This is what Oscar meant by greatness. It's not about excitement, it's about perfection. And the timing of Oscar's praise matters. With Terence Crawford stepping away.
A lot of people will say style-wise, Teddy, style-wise, is this gonna be a great fight? I don't know if it will. I mean, style-wise, I could see you having a little reservations, whether or not these guys will make for dynamite, they will make, for electricity. I don't know if they will, but I tell you what they will make for. Two skillful fighters, two talented fighters, two fighters that are at a high skill level that will compete in the sweet science. I mean, Shakur showed aggression in his last fight against Zepeda, being elusive while being aggressive, walking them down, fighting on the inside, boxing well, still being able to counter, still being able to control space, but also be able to go into tight quarters and not be afraid to show that he's good on the inside too, that he can make you miss and make you pay outside and inside. Shakur showed that. That was great. That was great, and people applaud him. I applaud him. We were sitting there, ringside. I was sitting there actually with your sister, ringside, watching that fight. And it was a terrific performance. Shakur showing that dimension, showing that attitude, showing that competitiveness, showing that dog like people like to show or like to talk about, and they wanted to see in Shakur.